Skip Federa. I'm the Global Client Services Director at Dotmailer and the Chair of the Email Marketing Council for the UK DMA. I'm really excited about where email marketing is going into 2015 and beyond. I think over the last 3 or 4 years, email marketers have focused a lot on how to say things. They've put, they focus on a welcome program or a lead nurture program or a retention program, which is great. It's ticking the boxes. But going into 2015, 2016, email marketers are going to increasingly have to focus on what they say. So, nobody wants to be retained. Nobody wakes up in the morning and says, "Ooh, I hope I'm retained today," right? What we wake up in the morning is we think, "Oh, I buy things from this company. I want them to recognize that, and I want them to treat me like a human being." And that's where email marketers need to focus their attention. It's easy for a marketer to have a conversation with 1, 10, or even 100 customers. Where the challenge comes in is when they're having a conversation with 1,000, 10,000, or 100,000 customers. And that's where email automation comes to the fore. It allows you to have those individual one-to-one conversations at scale. And the way you do that is, just like when you're having a conversation with a human being, if that person's leaning forward, making eye contact, has an open body language, they're clearly engaged with what you're talking about. If they start looking around the room, close off their body language, back away, they're not engaged with what you're talking about. So it's recognizing that body language. Now online, we can't see what they're physically doing, but we look at the digital body language. Are they opening? Are they clicking? What pages are they going to on the website? How long are they engaging with the website? Are they moving to the next step in the customer journey as you've identified it as a marketer? Those kinds of things. And then react to that in a real human way. If I hand you something, you're going to say thank you. If somebody downloads a white paper or gives you some email data, you should say thank you. It's that kind of humanity. That's where you build that human connection into your program and allows your customer to feel like they have a one-to-one connection with your brand. It's a lot more challenging to be an email marketer today than it was 10, 15 years ago. There's so much data around. You have to be a data expert. You have to understand how databases work. You have to understand when data is good quality, when it's bad quality, what causes it to become bad quality. All data has a shelf life, and you have to understand what that shelf life is. At the same time, all the same challenges are still there. You have to have an eye for design. You have to have the ability to copyright to some degree. You have to understand the analytics when you're looking at the results. So email marketers are increasingly having to become a lot more well-rounded. Well, I think having a team for email marketing would be a dream in the first instance. So putting together a dream team, most email marketing departments, there isn't a team. I had a conversation with a lady not too long ago. She was so excited to talk with other people about email because none of her colleagues do it. So having a team, I think, would be the first dream. If I could put together any team, I would have a data analyst. I would have a data expert, someone who just immerses themselves in the email data, into the data that drives that digital body language that we were talking about earlier. Then on top of that, a good art team, so creative director and copywriter. And then last but not least, a really good project manager-y type person to tie it all together. The other big change in all marketing is gone are the days when you can market in silos. Gone are the days when you can have your email team and your CRM team and your paid search team and your digital team. Everybody has to coordinate because that digital body language travels across channels and you have to understand where the customer is going and where they're coming from. So historically, this team would have sat in a nice little contained package in marketing. But increasingly, they will need to sit in marketing, but they can't be that tight little contained package. They have to start to work cross-channel. They have to start to be multidimensional. Every email department is stretched around the world. What you need to do is you just need to be a little bit smarter. Spend less time pushing the buttons, more time thinking strategically, setting up automation where you can, so that you don't have to think about it. You turn it on, you monitor it to make sure it's working. You might play around with it to optimize it, but you don't have to set it up over and over and over again. That doesn't add value. If you have to start prioritizing about what is a must-have versus a nice-to-have, I think having a data scientist or a data analyst is probably more of a nice-to-have, as long as the rest of your team understands data. They have to have a foundation in data. They don't necessarily have to know all the fancy statistical models and you'd be able to use all the fancy statistical tools, but they have to understand what the underlying data is telling them and what it really means. think there are a couple of challenges preventing companies from implementing automation. The first one is around data. Data drives all automation. If I'm going to react to that digital body language in an automated way, I have to see that digital body language, which means you can't have your web analytics data sitting in a database over here on the right, and your CRM data sitting in a database over here on the left, and maybe some other campaign data sitting in a database somewhere else. All those things have to be tied together. I have to be able to see everything that a customer is doing through every channel to understand what is the next best action to give them. Where is the next best channel to deliver a message, and what is that message going to be? One of the challenges that I see with a lot of my clients is they come in and they want to talk about really big, complicated email automation programs, or increasingly multi-channel automation programs. And that's great. And I applaud them for that big, kind of all-encompassing thinking. The problem that they have is then when they go to execute on that big plan, it never gets finished because it's just too big. There are too many interdependent moving parts. So what I always encourage clients to do is, yes, think big, document where you want to be, get it down on paper, but then start small, pick one small item to implement it well, and then scale quickly.